Hi, welcome to Let's Talk About Death. I'm Tammy Beilstein.
And I'm Sarah Lunsford.
We thought that we should do some talking about veteran cemeteries.
Veteran cemeteries,
yes,
and regular cemeteries. We'll talk about the veteran cemeteries in a minute. But
what did you want to say?
Sort of the realities of buying burial plots.
Yeah.
These are not issues you want to wait to take care of, especially if you want to be buried near your loved one, whether it's a husband or wife, a family member. You need to go to the cemeteries and buy your burial plot ahead of time.
Yeah.
And go from there, because sometimes it can be more than a little stressful when you're like, oh my gosh, you're not the one who's going to be saying I need to be buried, but your loved ones are going to say, mom or dad or uncle, aunt, want to be buried, and there's no burial plot.
Right.
There's no place to bury them.
And cemeteries have different rules.
Yes, they do.
Some will allow a double plot. Some may not have the space. Some are more expensive than others.
Exactly.
And a lot of times I think that just depends on what state they're in or what the property values are in that area.
And a double plot is, we should define that for people if you don't know.
Yeah, where one person can be below and the other one later, put on top, and they share a space this way.
A little trivia. Little trivia right now.
What?
Queen Elizabeth in England, the first one, obviously number 2 is still alive, at least at this point, still reigning the country.
As of
right now. So anyway, Queen Elizabeth the First, she died and was put in her crypt. And before her, she had a, a little tiff with Mary, Queen of Scots, who was, I believe, her cousin, and she had to behead her. Okay, now this is the thing. They are buried together in a double burial plot. One on top of the other. Queen Elizabeth, I believe, is on the top. And I believe it's Westminster Abbey in England, in London. Go visit them, because it's a famous spot, obviously, but also it has that little twist that they were frenemies.
It's like a soap opera.
Queenemies in real life. So anyway, there's a little trivia for you.
Pretty
you didn't
neat.
know?
I did not know that.
So anyway, a double plot.
Yeah. So they could be this way, or they could be this way. When you look around in some of these older cemeteries, you can see your whole families together.
Yes. You see a lot of
check
famous families, like local families.
Yeah.
When you go checking out your local cemetery, you'll recognize names, and you're like, wow, okay, there's that family, this family, that family.
Oh, it's so neat.
It is.
Oh my God, I just remembered something.
Okay.
We, for our 30th wedding anniversary, my husband and I, we went out to dinner, and then what I love to do afterwards is go check out cemeteries. And he always says, you're such a cheap date.
Yeah.
I am. But we go to this one that is in Jackson, California, and it is, I think it's Russian, but the headstones are gorgeous. And so many of them have a ceramic photo of the deceased right on the headstone, and it's really neat, because you can you just get a real feel for who that person was. Yeah,
exactly.
We should do that.
That's very cool. And you have to plan that stuff ahead.
Yeah.
And you can also get your tombstone chosen and carved ahead of time too. And they are not inexpensive, tombstones. So, if you could just put a little money aside, like you would for, 30th anniversary dinner or whatever. I mean, it's probably a little more than a 30th anniversary dinner.
It would be.
But put a little money aside so that when the time comes, you know what's written on your tombstone, and you know what kind of marble you're going to have, or those sort of issues need to be resolved beforehand. Or if there's a little photo that you want of yourself,
they can do that.
They could put the young hip photo in,
right,
if you wanted. It may not match your dates, but that's okay. That's your choice. This is your choice.
It's your headstone. Do what you want.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
but there is a lot to think about when it comes time.
There's a lot to think about.
To do this, to pick out your plot and all of that. And if you've never been into a cemetery, go look just for the fun of it. You know, they really are cool. Go check out ones with different religions and cultures, and I think they are so interesting.
And the different epitaphs.
Oh, some are fun.
Some are fun. Some are really fun. And you know, if you don't have an older cemetery in your town, cemetery, and it's always fascinating to find, you know, people who were buried in the 1850s in this country anyway.
Yeah.
And
I like when they say what the person died from,
yes,
or what that person was known for, or I don't know. Remember we did a show where we were talking about people who don't want to eat at the end of their life, that it's normal to not want to eat. I'm going to be the opposite, so I already thought of what mine's. My last words, you can put these on my headstone.
Okay.
Since I'm probably still going to be eating because I like food, I'm going to be like this on my deathbed.
You'll be like the feast.
I'll be like, Sarah,
get me food.
Put the peanut butter cup in my mouth. Yeah.
There it is, quick.
You can put that on my headstone. It's all right
quick,
with me.
It's Theresa's. Yeah.
Anyway, I plan on being cremated with my chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Anyway, we had too much fun talking about death.
Yeah. And you would too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just got to talk about it, right?
Yeah. Hey, if you guys have any questions or anything, because we are so casual when we do these, we may forget something. Maybe there's something that you really want to know. Contact us.
Yeah.
Send us
on our
message.
Facebook page, anything. We'll, you know, and eventually we're going to try the Facebook Live thing. So you'll be able to watch us live on Facebook, and we can answer your questions right there in the comments.
That'll be fun.
So we're planning on that. We don't have a date yet, so you just got to keep tuned and keep tuning in and see. And with that, we are out of time, but our next episode, we're going to talk about veterans cemeteries, because they have a completely different set of rules that you have to abide by if your loved one or you are a veteran and you want to be buried in a veterans cemetery. So make sure you tune in for that one, and we'll see you on the next episode of Let's Talk About Death.
Sounds good. Now I want a peanut butter cup. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.